Hello, you're very welcome to this edition of the Under Centre podcast. Dara here with you, and we are looking at youth football, and we have two members of the South Dublin Panthers youth squad. I'm delighted to be joined by Rob Maher and Conor Hoskins. Lads, how are you?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Thanks for having me there.
No problem at all. Thank you for coming on. This has been a few weeks in the making. I'm delighted now that we can actually finally chat about Panthers football, youth football, and then probably, hopefully, by the end of a little bit of Wolfhounds football, because obviously there's a big game coming up at the end of the month that I'm sure you two are looking forward to immensely. But first of all, like I said, the season's just over. The Panthers have had a very good season. I guess by outside eyes perspective, considering that I don't think there was a lot of people that gave the Panthers much of a chance at the start of the year when they heard the types of numbers that the team had. But obviously, you two have been there, obviously throughout the season and with a fantastic year. Obviously, ending in the unfortunate way that it did, which we'll get to in a bit. But you know, hearing all of the words from the podcasts, different podcasts or different like chats or discords and stuff like that. I'll start with you, Rob, first on this one. Like, was that a sort of a motivator now to sort of make sure this season was a success?
Oh, most definitely, because when you go on Instagram and you see these podcasts and they're talking about either it's put names or in a bucket, and it could be either odds or it could just be absolute like sweeps. I know the Knights we got sweeped, Minotaurs we got sweeped, and there are two games that we won, and it really reflects on the squad that we have. That we in the group chats we put it straight in. Take a screenshot, put it straight in, and it definitely is extra fuel. Like these people don't believe in us, don't believe in the team, don't believe in the talent. And yeah, that is really, when times get tough in games and you're down a score or two scores, you just got to really reflect on it, and it's always in the back of your head.
Yeah, and Conor, first of all, I hope there was no screenshots of this podcast going into it, because I don't think we were that harsh this year for sure. Because we've had obviously your QB Finn on a couple of times before, and the last time we had him on, he was very vocal about the shit talking that went on with certain other podcasts that are kind of around but not around anymore since the divorce. He wasn't very complimentary of them at all, but for yourself as well, and obviously playing running back with right beside Finn for most of it, and seeing, obviously, look, we know how good of a player Finn is in the wide receiver position, let alone the quarterback position. But having someone as experienced as good as that beside you, was that sort of helpful for being kind of so new to the game and I think, was this your first year as well in senior kit too? So getting used to
that. Yeah, Finn this is unbelievable what he did. Like, just he made it so like it was almost like calm and relaxing to like just talk to him, and he was so chill at some points at just helping you out and like helping everyone basically wherever he can. He was giving out pointers, giving us stuff to improve on. Just great leader overall, and yeah, it was my first season.
It was, yeah. And look, listen, like I said, I got to see the game. Which game was it? The first game against Cork, and when you were down in Santry playing, and I got to see that game, and despite like that, when you look at say Cork sideline to yourselves, the vast difference was there. But you stayed in that game till the very end, and the scoreline didn't do it justice. And Rob, I'll go back to you on this one. Was that sort of the moment, that game, staying in it so closely against such a well-drilled team like Cork? Was that the sort of game that you thought, right, even though we don't have the numbers, we have the talent here and we're going to stick around?
Yeah, because we sort of knew going into the year that Cork is always a good team, ever since they've, rejoined the SBC, that they've always been competitive and they've always been in probably top 4 teams. Coach Allen has them really well drilled. You look at their line and they have really good players. Look at their skill positions; they have really good players, and the numbers for us, like, it just showed that we have good talent on the team. We just need to, obviously, it was first game, so everything's a bit rocky. You sort of need to work out the grudges. But I mean, I think it was a 1-score game going into the 2-minute, and then obviously they scored a touchdown and 2-pointer, and then we sort of knew, okay, we're not going to get it back here. But I think that first game was almost not pivotal, but we knew that we had a good squad and we can compete with these good teams.
Yeah, I think I remember. And for anyone that doesn't know, actually, Rob is a member of the show too. Does a bit of background work for us, and obviously very talented with putting your videos together. And I think in the group chat after that game, you weren't happy because I think what was it? From playing youth level, you've never been able to beat Cork, and that is the only team you've ever lost to up to then. Was that what it was?
Yeah, same with Conor. Like, the only team, well, since I've been with the academy, it's the only team that I haven't beaten in academy or senior. It's just like, because Cork at youth level and senior level are pretty similar in the way they run their scheme. They like to have that overhang defender, and either he blitzes or he stays back and pass coverage. And even you look at that Cork team, and half the lads you're playing against are from the youth academy, so you'd know a few of them. So it's a good way to see, well, these guys came up from the youth academy as well, so why can't I do the same thing?
Yeah, and let's have a little chat about then later on in the season, and Conor, the sort of as the season goes on, really good wins against teams that include the Minotaurs and the Knights as well, and then that big game up in Belfast against the Trojans. That was the big game. That was the game that I remember talking to Finn. That was the game that you were targeting to win, because if you win that, then you could seal your fate into the playoffs. But before we get into what happened after the game, the game itself, having that game plan and seeing, Big Ben getting that pick six towards the end, how hard of a game, especially like I said, in your first year playing senior, how hard of a game was that now against a perennial Shamrock Bowl winning side, and knowing you had to win this game to make the playoffs?
Oh, well, even from the start of the season, like you said, we'd been eyeing that game up, and we knew it was go big or go home. Even before getting into it, we knew we had a game for ourselves up there. Just all the Belfast teams, like we were saying before, just they're good, big physical teams, and like it's sort of surreal feeling seeing like how it all played out. Very close game. And then you just feel that big relief when you see Ben running down the sideline, or running down with the ball in his hand after getting the pick. It was just great feeling.
I still love that picture of seeing is it Hector is the mascot's name?
Yeah.
Seeing that
Hector
picture,
the Trojan.
of him just looking on as Ben is running off with that pick six. It's one of the best pictures of the season. Obviously probably not as good as our guy Dave's picture. I don't know if you've seen it, as the Pirates when we were away to the Giants. He's just standing there like that, not caring.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed photo as well. It was brilliant. But so then obviously all the sort of stuff happened afterwards, and as unfortunate as it was, that you weren't going to be able to play playoff football, as an overall thing, and Rob, I'll go with you first, and then Conor, you can answer straight after. Your first year playing senior kid as a whole, did you find it was a bigger step up than you thought it was initially going to be, or were you thankful of the years that you've had playing youth football to lead you up or to get you ready for this moment?
Like, youth football it's like the impact that youth football brings you, it readies you for the next level. It's like you much rather have an 18-year-old who's played 3 or 4 years of youth football than a 21-year-old that has no experience at all. Like the physicality is completely different. I think Conor would probably know that as a running back, but as an offensive lineman, it's for youth football, like there isn't any 5-man lines, it's all 3-man. So it's very rarely that you don't have anybody like heads up on you. But even as like the speed of the game as well, it's just, I remember against the Rebels and, nobody was heads up and I was looking for work and I look left, look right, then look straight ahead of me and it's Kenny McCarthy, I think it was, and had no time to react at all. I'm just standing here like Kenny McCarthy is absolutely going to blow me up. And there is a picture of me doing my blitz pickup and it's me on the ground, but I think Finn got an 11-yard run or something, so I said I'll take that. It's 11 yards, so I'm on the ground. Like Kenny McCarthy is just like bowling over me, and I was just, yeah.
You slowed him down enough.
Just exactly.
So
he didn't make the tackle, and that's a W in my book. No tackle.
That's it. And Conor, for yourself as well, the years of playing youth football leading you into kitted, do you feel that was a sort of vital experience needed to get yourself ready for the senior league?
Definitely. I had about 4 years in youth, so I'd obviously gained quite a bit of experience, but like Rob was saying, it just doesn't compare. Like you think you're ready, and you think, oh, I'm gonna be class. I know what I'm doing, and it's just a whole different ball game. It's just you get thrown in the deep end. But I think me and Rob and other fellas that came up, like Hugo, adapted pretty well and pretty fast. I think we got our bearings pretty quick. But definitely youth was a major help, just getting us mentally ready as well as physically for a senior.
Mm-hmm. And what got you interested in wanting to play American football, and what led you then to playing for the Panthers?
So I'm originally from America, and I played about a year and a half of. I was only 11 years old, and I played about a year in Pee Wee football. And then I've always loved football, even from watching it on the television at home, watching the Patriots play. And then when I moved over here, I was actually interested. I didn't get my first year or two going in, but then I saw the Panthers and the Trojans in the Shamrock Bowl, and I thought, may as well go to that. And I went to it, and then instantly reigniting my love with the game. And I think you had to be 15 to join. You had to be 15 to join the youth, and I applied. I applied on the Monday when I was 14, and training. I had turned 15 by the Saturday, so I was there for the Sunday training session. I was just in there straight away. But I've always loved football, and it's probably one of my favorite pastimes to do. It's just love for the game. That's it.
I didn't know we had a Patriots fan in here. I wouldn't have put this together now.
I was born there, so I was just.
That's all right. We'll let you off this time anyway, for sure. But Rob, what about yourself? What got you interested in wanting to play American football?
I think originally, I made an Instagram account and I started following some pages, and then Vine was still around at the time, and I just started watching Vines. Like I was like, this sport is really cool. Like they're blowing each other up. It's just like big collisions, and and my dad watched it in the 90s and 80s, and he saw on Facebook that the Rebels were playing. I don't know what year this was, but the Rebels were playing, I think, in Alsa against the UL Vikings, and decided to go down, and I watched the game, and Wello was cooking up a storm down there, and I was like, I can get into this, and and then the time I didn't know there was a youth academy until I looked it up. One of a former youth academy player, Paulie Robinson, he DM'd me on Instagram, said, "Hey, do you want to come down to a training session?" And I was like, "Why not?" And at the time we had Coach Mack, and Conor can say this as well, but Coach Mack made everything so easy for the youth lads. Like it's just he explained it so well to us that you almost feel like, this is easy. It's an easy sport to play if you really understand it.
Yeah, man, and it just shows as well how vital it is, because if it wasn't for yourself, Connor, and Rob, and any of the other youth players that could make the step up to Kitted this year, we may not have even have a Panthers teams, and it just shows how important it is for every club, if they are, geographically able to do it as well, to set up these youth teams so that they can have this conveyor belt of players that are going to be game ready by the time they reach 18, 19.
Absolutely, yeah. Just like the beauty of the sport is that it's so inclusive. Like there's a position for everyone. If you're like I started out, I was the smallest on my team, and then it's just wherever you can fit in. If you're small and fast, you can fit in. If you're big and strong and slow, you can fit in. Just that's the beauty of the sport. There's anyone can join and play anywhere, and youth, like you said, is just vital, just to keep the game alive and to keep it growing. Like you said, there's more youth teams joining this year. I just think it's a brilliant thing for the sport in this country, and just it should keep going every year, keep growing and expanding.
I had a horrible feeling you were looking at me there when you said big and slow.
No, I was just
You wouldn't be wrong. Anyway, it's all right. You wouldn't be wrong. But actually, I think Rob, or Connor, one of you touched on it there, that youth football is a little different to the actual senior kitted side of things. I don't know. I'll leave the floor open to whoever wants to answer it. But for anyone that doesn't know how the youth football setup works, do one of you mind explaining?
I'll do. I don't mind doing it. So the way youth football is, it's 8-a-side. So you're missing the tackles and an extra receiver, I believe. And it's pretty run heavy base because normally your best player is a running back. So there's a lot of it's a slow moving game in academy. You really don't really have those breakaway runs you would have at a senior level. But you have a connection with the lads that you play against because it's a blitz. Like you have blitz days, so you have 2 matches a day, and you play them, and you might be 2-0, you might be 1-1. Then you go to the next week and you play another blitz, and then straight to playoffs. And it's a good way of almost testing yourself as a football player, like because there's some days where I know we don't have the biggest youth academy our last year, and we had to play back to back, like both ways, and it's tough even at youth level. Like it's tough playing, say, center and then defensive tackle, or like running back and linebacker. It's not ideal, but it's fun. Like if somebody asked me to do it again, I would do it like heartbeat, because the youth lads so well, because you're training in the summer pretty much. I know the last 2 years we started training in the summer. That COVID year, we trained throughout summer, with our squad. So we form really close connections with them, with the lads.
Mm-hmm. And you train summer, and then games are September, October time?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So that's right. And like you said, there is a bigger influx of teams this year. I think every SBC side has a U team set up this year, or trying to set up a U team this year. And then I think, who else is it? Is it the Crusaders and the Mavericks as well? And I think that's all the teams, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vipers have them as well.
Oh yeah,
Vipers too. Yes, sorry, the Vipers have a youth team too. So was it about 10 teams possibly this year?
8 or 9.
Yeah. So which is fantastic. There's so many places there now for anyone, like you said, who's maybe not at the age yet to play senior kitted and doesn't and wants to get a taste of it. It's absolutely fantastic that they're going to have the opportunity, and all you have to do is search for those clubs, and you'll be able to see it. But also not just with the Panthers youth squad and obviously the Panthers season, but obviously your season isn't over just yet either, because you have an upcoming game in August, at the end of August, on the 25th to be exact. The gift event day. You're going to be part of the Irish Wolfhounds under 19 squad. Before we talk about the day itself, what has it been like, being in camp with an Irish squad, and what's it been like, sort of, getting coached by a whole new range of coaches as well?
It's been an experience, when you play against the lads a lot, or the academy, or like I know a few lads straight from the academies, and I've met them playing senior, but also the coaches, like are just amazing, because you sort of understand that the players might not be as technically refined as they're used to with the adult kid, but it's almost like it's a teaching. It's a way of teaching with some drills, and just see, every coach sort of has it. They do it differently. With the Panthers, they do it differently to, say, the Minotaurs or the Admirals. But that's also what makes it great.
Yeah, and Connor, for yourself as well, what's it been like? First of all, sort of getting the call to say that you've been that they want you to be part of the Wolfhounds under 19 squad, and then sort of how the training days have gone, and sort of, I guess, are they full day training days? Like, is it tape watching at the start of the day and then out onto the practice field the second half? Like, how is it working out?
Well, to get the call up and to be asked is like an absolute honor. Like, you get to represent your country, which I think any athlete at any level would love to do. So I'm very honored to be a part of the program. And like you said, with the training, like, you're training with lads that you've been playing against, so you know a few, and like it helps build good chemistry in between the teams. And like Rob was saying, like, you get different perspectives from different coaches, and different styles they train, and different ways they have to help you. So it's been really good. The training days have been long. Some days we'll go just full sessions on pads, and then other days we might do a little bit of film, and then do a bit of training after. So it's a good mix.
Yeah. And then, like that, we said 25th of August, Energia Park. The Wolfhounds will be will be the last of three games, coming up against the Community School of Naples, which is actually interesting, Rob, because I didn't know, or Connor, sorry, I didn't know about, obviously, how you first got interested in playing American football, but to go and play in Energia Park, where you first got interested in wanting to play American football over here, I say is going to be quite a special occasion.
Yeah, it'll be an experience, like, starting, like you said, from where I first fell in love with the game over here, and then playing against an American team. Me from being from America, it'll be a lot of emotions, but I say it'll be a great day out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a good experience.
And Rob, how have you got many more weeks of training with the team left before August the 25th, or is it kind of a break and sort of film study sort of period at the moment?
Well, we're not training this week because the adult kid are playing, so we'll be watching that. And then I think we're training every week up to the match.
Okay. And are they 2 days, 2 days, or are you just having the one?
The one day a week or something. I think
1 day a week.
1 day a week.
No problem. And look, listen, best of luck in that game. Hopefully, we'll be there myself checking it out for sure. So, I want at least, one touchdown from you, Connor, and I think maybe two pancakes from you, Rob. I think at least on that game.
That's
Just 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 has to be. We'll get you some like under center podcast like t-shirts underneath, so you can just
There we go. Yeah.
that's your favorite podcast. Free advertising for us. So it's great. But looking ahead then past that to next season, it's going to be sort of your second year playing kitted, and how much you're looking forward to getting back into that side of things with the Panthers.
Yeah, it's going to be. You go ahead, Connor.
Oh, thank you. It's just I've been looking forward to it ever since it ended. Like it's like you've been itching to get back at something. I'm really looking forward to next year. I think we've a lot to prove as a team, even though we did very well for our expectations and for some others. I think we have a lot to prove next season, and I'd say we'll give it a good shot next year. I'm really looking forward to it.
And Rob?
I mean, like, we want to build off this year that I think we probably have the youngest squad in the SBC at the moment in terms of starting 11s. I mean, you look throughout like the offense and you have, I think the oldest receiver we have might be 24, 25. I think that's the oldest one we have. And then you have like players like a Shane Roberts or an Anto Burke, like on offense and defense that have played for 9 years, and it brings that almost coaching experience to the team. When you have, a young starting 11, sometimes players can get a little fuzzed out, I suppose. They can sort of lose concentration or, might not be up to scratch really if the game isn't going our way, and those two lads really set the tempo.
Perfect. So then before we wrap it up, if anyone listening is around the obviously near the Panthers and they're interested in playing either the full kitted or playing youth football, how can they contact the team first of all? And is there any days coming up, especially for the youth side of things for tryouts?
From what I'd say, just if you're interested in playing for the academy, just shoot the Panthers a DM on Instagram, and somebody will get back to you within the day or even the hour. Trainings are every Saturday from 11 to 1. So if you're down anywhere, even in the Dublin area, I live in Swords. The Panthers train Thomond Park. If you're sort of North Dublin, give Panthers a shout. If you're 15, 16, 17, we'll get in contact.
Oh, you have to be careful now with that. North Dublin, you want to give the Panthers a shout? Oh, no, hold on.
I know.
Okay, if you want to play youth football, so we don't get into any turf war.
Yeah, I said youth football. I said
youth football's fine. Yeah, youth football's fine. But if North Dublin, we want you down at the Pirates for sure.
We don't want to be messing with the wrong crew. We don't want to be messing.
No, listen. If I see any youth, or if I see any Panthers merch going around Swords and going after them, you've been warned, Rob. So keep that in.
Keep the shirt in the closet.
That's it. Watch your colours now. It's grey and orange up in Swords. It's not navy blue. Even though I do love the navy blue jerseys, they are exquisite with the gold helmets. Just a fantastic touch. I love it. But let's listen. I really appreciate taking the time and coming on and speaking to us. Best of luck at the end of the month. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be a good result against the Community School of Naples, Florida-based team. But it's going to be a great day nonetheless. So, like I said, first of all, Rob and Connor, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
And that's where we're going to wrap up this edition of the show. Like they mentioned, if you are interested in getting involved in youth football, the Panthers are probably the closest team. So just look up South Dublin Panthers on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, and you'll find them. Again, I guess if you are from North Dublin, you want to play kitted for them as senior, you might as well contact them the same way. But if you want to do it the Pirates way, North Dublin Pirates, just search for us there on that too. You can do that as well. Like I said, August 25th, Energia Park, the gift football event or day. Not too sure what they're calling it, but 3 games on. So lots of football. With the last game being the community school in Naples against the Irish Wolfhounds under 19 squad. Also this weekend, should mention Ireland against Turkey in the European Championships Group B, their second game down in the MTU in Cork. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. this Saturday. If you can't make it down, I believe the AFI YouTube channel is showing the game as well on YouTube, so you can watch it there as well. But like I said, that's all the time we have for in this edition of the show. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.